Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. We're going to basically talk about today's news. It's not much because it's a game day, but some interesting quotes. And funnily enough, we were talking about it yesterday with Julian during the live. So we'll go a few quotes Chiellini came out with an interview with DAZN Italy. I think that it's a pre-recorded interview. I think it happened a month ago, but the quotes are coming out now. As always, like the video, subscribe to the channel. I also finally made my own Twitter account, as you can see in the info box. So that's that. But let's start basically with the main news, and that's the Ligt. Now, funnily enough, yesterday basically I told Julian during the live, like, if the Ligt leaves, how are we gonna replace him? Just looking around, because I also said, like, Italian players tend to stay in Italy, like that's normal. Like English players tend to stay in England, and I was saying, like, there are no good Italian center backs out there. Basically, the highest rated one, among the younger players, is Bastoni, and even he so he's not up to that level. Like, let's be real. Then there's also Lovato from Atalanta, who is a bit struggling. So he's young, he can improve, but other than that, it's there's a big gap, and that's why I said to Julian, like, we have Ligt, and if he leaves, we cannot afford to lose him, especially not this moment in time when we have Chiellini, who, yeah, he has 2 years left on his deal, but like his injury record, which is holding up pretty good this season, but he's not playing that much, so it should be holding up basically. And then there's Bonucci, who's not getting younger, and then we have Rugani, who's basically, yeah, he's the fourth choice center back, but like he's not getting any minutes, so that's all you need to know about him. And we tried to ship him out in the past, like it's over for him. Like he cannot be a starter for the club. So I said to Julian, like, if there are no talks this summer or to the back end of the season about a new deal and removing the clause or something like that, I would be very, very worried. Like, I think he has a deal until 24 or 23. But either way, even if it's 24, you need to start the whole talks for a new deal. Like, you cannot afford to get into basically a situation where Milan is in with Cassie, with Romagnoli, they had with Çalhanoğlu, they had with Donnarumma. Like, all these players had a contract, and they waited too long to get basically in talks with him. So I just looked up, and he has a contract until 24 delayed. So that sounds like a lot, but it's almost 22. So that's why I said to Julian, like, I hope talks are coming out, like, or just rumors are coming out, reports are coming out that they're basically in talks um, with RAIOLA, because if he leaves, we are in big trouble. Like, I think, and again, I also say, like, what if Chiellini and Bonucci leave? Like, we had Chiellini, Bonucci, Barzagli, and we were just very lucky. Like, these things don't happen basically every year. Like, we were the last 10 years, we are very lucky with our defenders. Like, even Benatia, who did great, Demiral was good. Like, but to build a strong backline, we had, I don't say lucky, but like we had something special. Like, it doesn't happen often. So like I said, for me, that can be a problem if it's gonna be a problem if you lose the league. We already knew, like, Raiola is his agent, so these things can happen, and basically everybody expected it to happen. The only guy I can recall is Hamsik, who sacked Raiola because he was pushing for him to leave and he didn't want to leave Napoli. And people say Nedved, but before Nedved left Lazio to join Juve, it was also a mess. Like the way he signed for Juve and how they not tricked him, but how it all happened, all these things. But again, Nedved didn't want to leave Juve, and he also said to Raiola no. So that's that. Now I don't expect the Ligt to say that. Like if the club is going in the wrong direction, then he has every right. Like he's one of the best center backs in the world, and he's still only 22 years old. So he has every right to say, I want to go play for a club where we're going to compete for every trophy. And at the moment, we're not doing that. So that's another different, basically, different story to keep in mind. But let's go into the quotes from Chiellini, who was basically, I think, saying what everybody is saying. Like he said, I think the league is very strong. I call him Thor. If he had been Italian, it would have been easier to keep him for so many years. I hope Raiola will do us the favor of leaving him in Turin for a few more years. Like, I think he know, like everybody knows, like it's a Raiola client, so the chances of him moving on are very high. Like it's no secret. That's why it's very important that we start opening talks, like and looking around us, because Chiellini and Bonucci are not like they're not gonna younger. Rugani, like all the entire situation is a bit messy. We also let Demiral go. I understand that he wanted to play. I don't think like he's not better than Delay defensively. He's not better than Chiellini, but he's younger than Chiellini. But then again, how many people would start him over Chiellini or over Bonucci? I don't know. I don't think Allegri would have done that. Also because Bonucci defensively is the worst out of the three, of the two. How you want to see it, but playing out from the back, he's very important for the team, and that's why he's playing. So that's also something to keep in mind. And he also said like the league is everything, has everything, but it's his head that makes a difference. He's 22 years old, with the mentality of a 30-year-old one, and he wants to improve every day. Like, because I remember I would say a month ago, like or something even more, people questioning him, saying he makes mistakes and like just picking up some, I don't know, real weird situations. Like he stepped out of the back and he like nothing really bad happened, but they were picking out weird moments to prove a very weird case. I don't know why. Maybe someone calling him a bit overrated, which is ridiculous. Like I don't know what that period was. Also among Juve fans, like he's amazing. Like he's unbelievable. And I've seen that training video, and people say it's a training video. The speed he has to recover in the short spaces basically is just it's crazy. Like if you look at how he's built, he's a unit, but he's so fast in those starting 20-30 meters. It's insane. Like, and that's why he can play on a high line. He can afford to sometimes make a mistake because he can make up for it with his speed. So I don't really know what that was all about, questioning the lake at that moment in time. But again, like Chiellini is scared. Like I think scared, like worried. Like everybody knows what's gonna happen. I think. I know people say he loves Turin. He loves staying there. That's great. Like, but let's be honest. Let's say if City comes in, Chelsea comes in, Real Madrid comes in, even Barcelona, who have more, like they are in a financial troubling situation, but just moving forward, if they can show a much more attractive project compared to ours, then who are we to tell the league stay with us, just compete for the Scudetto, and let's see if we have a chance in Europe. Like he's one of the best players out there, so he has every right to wanting to compete for the biggest trophies. So it's nothing like he might love the city, but if there's no clear plan, like there's no direction that shows okay, we're competing again, we will have a shot in making Champions League finals as we did under Allegri, then he has every right to leave. So have other players. Like that's football. Like it's a business at the end of the day. That's why I said many times I only have 2 jerseys with a name on the back because I'm not doing that. Like I have Marquisio and Chiellini. I'm not gonna buy every player. Like I'm not doing that because that's football. Like I hope players want to win. Like if not, then they're in the wrong sport, in my opinion. If you don't want to win, like in general sport. So there are players who just want to play for the money and feel comfortable at a club and just stay there without any ambition. I don't like that in a player, so I don't. I hope no player has that at our club. But there are players. I would say Ramsey. He has no ambition. He's just there picking up his his wages, which he got from the club. Like I'm not saying he shouldn't be picking up his wages, but that's that. So again, it's something to worry about because we're just 10 games into the season, or 13 games with Champions League football. But going forward, that's something we should keep in mind and basically pay close attention to, because Chelsea are looking for a defender because they are not agreeing terms with Christensen and Rudiger. Real Madrid they need a top class defender in my opinion. Barcelona are a shambles at the back, so things can change really, really quickly. So let's see how that will move on. Then he talked about Dybala. He said now Dybala holds all the cards. Ronaldo's departure can free up space for his technical and individual characteristics, allowing him to drag this team along with him. Again, the main question is, can he stay fit? Like that's the most important question the most important question surrounding Dybala at the moment. Like, can he stay fit? If he can stay fit, there's no question that he's very important for his team, that he will contribute a lot into scoring goals, into basically bringing this team further up the table, moving forward. Like, that's no debate in my opinion. The debate is, can he stay fit and can he be consistent, which he has not been the last few seasons. So that's something he needs to show now, starting with today against Sassuolo. He came on against Inter and he was great. Like, penalty aside, which was a pressure penalty in my opinion, but just the hold-up play, the way he skipped past players and stuff like that, that's Dybala. But he needs to show that on a consistent basis now, because let's be honest, the last season and a half, it's like he wasn't even there. Like, he was also always injured when he came on. It wasn't always great. So again, I see people saying he's one of the best players in the world. He's not. I like Dybala, but he's not one of the best players in the world. Like, let's not lower the standards for being one of the best players in the world. But he's a very good player, a very important player if he's healthy. He will definitely help us. Like, that's no debate. Then he also talked about, let's do this. He also talked about Ronaldo, because people were giving Chiellini a lot of shit for what he said, but like, he didn't say anything against Ronaldo in my opinion. But he also said, I'm honored to have played with Ronaldo. He's an alien. He'll go down in history like Maradona and Pele. He gave a huge boost to the whole Juve world, and he did. Like, off the field and even on the field, like, he scored over 100 goals for the club. Like, that's insane. Whatever people say, Ronaldo in, Ronaldo out, all those things, the goals he scored are insane. Like, nobody's taking that away from him. He broke records with the club. Like, I would say only a fool will not credit him for doing that. Like, the numbers are there, and he has done what basically he was asked to do, scoring goals. Again, people say, he didn't want the Champions League. Like, no, not one player is not going to win you the Champions League. You need a team around you, and the team was not great. And also, we changed managers. Like, we changed it. We had Allegri under him, we had Sarri, and then Pirlo. Like, that's not a stable project. That's basically freestyling. So just around Ronaldo, it was all a mess. Like, I'm not saying everything he did was great, but I think we just got Ronaldo because it was an opportunity. But the thought process behind it didn't make really much sense, in my opinion. But that's my opinion. And then he basically also said, he talked about the future, like the title is saying, and he talked about Allegri, like Allegri coming back, and he said, "I found Max to be very energetic. He is a certainty for the next few years at Juventus. He is a guarantee of continuity and of what it means to be at Juventus." Again, I agree with him. I know people, and me included, like I'm a Allegri fan, but I will not praise everything he does. Like we don't play an excited brand of football, and that's okay for me. But going forward, I expect more, especially with the players has at his disposal. I expect more going forward. I understand why he basically closed shop the last few games, because we were in a mess. Like it was just, we were conceding goals. Like everybody was a bit running around. Like it was not a team. Like at the moment, we look like a team again, but now you need to build on it. And he's saying himself, and it needs to basically, it needs to improve starting from today. Like you need to show going forward that you can do more than just be a 1-0 team. Because we have quality players. Like we have Dybala, we have Chiesa, Ivan Morata, Keane, Quadrado up top. Like he needs to get the best of Kulusevski, in my opinion. All these things, that's what a coach should do, especially a coach of his caliber. Like he needs to get the best out of all players, just not one or two or something like that. So I think the future is safe. I think the future looks a bit brighter compared to the last seasons. I think the club was not sure what to do when they sacked Allegri. Like they wanted to go one way and then just going back the other way. It didn't make sense. They gave Allegri the 4-year deal. He's not going away, especially with the money they gave him and the more basically power, the influence in the club. Again, we are rebuilding. I think Chiellini said it. I'm not saying we have a young team. I don't agree with him. Like we have some young players, but experienced young players like Chiesa, Chiesa and Locatelli. They have won things and they're 24, 23. Like that's not young anymore. Like young is Caio. That's young for me. The Ligt is not. Yeah, he's young. He's 22, but like he has done it all. Like he played on a high level even with Ajax. Like he's not a kid anymore, in my opinion. Like Chiellini said, he has the head of a 30-year-old. So I think we have some good young players, but we need to build. Like there are positions that are surplus to replacement, and a lot of holes basically to fill in. Like that midfield is an issue since Pirlo, Pogba, Vidal, and all those players start leaving. Like it's an issue, and we need to improve that big time. Now Arthur is coming back. Let's see how he will perform under Allegri. I think he will do better. But so far, like I saw people saying he's not worth 80 mil. Like that 80 mil was just, I don't know. It was just for the books. Like they played with numbers, and going off that, there's an investigation going in, not just a Juve, even for Napoli, for Osimhen, also for us, for Arthur and Pjanic swap, because the figures for which players have gone to Barca and to Juve are a bit mad. Like let's be honest. But yeah, Arthur needs to show more. I think he is a good player. He can be a good player, but he also needs to show more. Starting from today, he's going to start, and let's see what he can bring to the table. So that's it for today's news. Again, as always, like the video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter, follow Justin and Julian on Twitter, and then we will see you tomorrow with another daily news video.